Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We got the voice behind the camera, back in effect. We got the wizard, and we got Banna. I fucked that up. Banna. I told you I'll mess it up, Banna.
Straight
because
Banna.
Banna, you know what it is?
Yeah.
Banna. Because
Yes.
I'm so excited about all the things you do, what you represent. Like when I've watched you online, because you've spoken once or twice, I just like, I don't know, I'm in so much
more than
awe.
once or twice.
Banna.
We've known each other for the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, you're a G.
Yeah.
Banna.
Yeah. Respect,
What's that?
bro.
What's that?
I'm just here to answer the questions and have fun, man.
Yeah, that's the grace us in your presence,
You know
man.
what I
You're
mean?
amazing.
Yeah, man. I feel much appreciated and honoured to be here. The studio is lovely, man. The studio is lovely. Trust me, it's nice, man.
It's nice to be in here, man. You just rent it for a little while. We're gonna get a bigger one, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
with your help.
It's nice,
I
man.
hope you brought the money with you.
It's lovely, bruv. There's a grand. Like,
Come on.
you know what I mean? You know if you can live like that. You get
Come on. There's people out there living like that, you know? Yeah. Like that film, if you don't ask, you don't get money. You know?
That's right.
You don't ask, you don't
That's
get.
right.
So, how long we know each other?
I'd say since about 13, 14. And it's mad because as you was interviewing the Cheese, I don't want to say his name.
Yeah.
As you was interviewing Cheese and you said you went to Islington Green.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I swear you went to Highbury Grove.
I used to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be everywhere.
Because obviously I went to Highbury Grove quite a number of times to see people and all that. I went to Stokey.
Okay.
And I went to Highbury Grove quite a number of times to visit.
Yeah,
people.
as you do.
Yeah.
As you do.
There were people from my ends who went there.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
People who I also know from Islington who went there.
Yeah.
So I was not always down there, but I was down there a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just thought you was there as well, bro.
Yeah, I was everywhere.
But I was seeing you.
Yeah, it was in the
You
streets.
understand?
Yeah.
I was seeing you, and it was nice to have seen you in the gym. Pure gym it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause, I remember you was in the corner and you was on the phone talking, and I was doing my thing, and I heard the voice, and I was like, I know that voice.
Loud as hell.
I know the voice. You get what I'm saying? And I looked over, and I'm like, I know the face. But obviously, the face is much more mature now. But it's the same.
Yeah, I appreciate
but
you, man.
matured.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's when I came over to you, if you remember. And as soon as I came over to you, you remembered
It's
me.
love, it's
because
love, man.
energy don't forget itself.
yeah,
Energy
yeah.
knows itself. You understand?
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah, man, it's all love, man. It's all love, man. Trust me. It's like Cheese was saying, you ain't seen each other for how many years. But when you do meet, it's like you never partied.
Yeah.
That's
Same.
life, man.
It is.
I mean, it's all good.
Beautiful part.
So they
beautiful.
don't know I was screaming and shouting before,
Yeah.
like a few minutes. Like I was that excited. The last guest was the last guest, but I was saying I'm more kind of like a bit more peaceful now. Like, I'm kind of easy that. I was like, we're talking to the mic as well. Come on, if I get hot on this year, come on, you let them check there. Let them check the hot stepper.
What am I gonna do if you want me?
Come on, yeah. That's the time we come up. That's the kind of music we play when we come up. Come on. I want to talk about what was it like when we were children? What was it like when you was a child growing up and moving around? We're gonna get into everything, but what was it like? Like the area, the atmosphere, the energy, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like of our teens.
Yeah. What was it like? I'd say it was confusing. You was within a world in which you thought this was what life was to be, or this is what life is rather, and you didn't really see outside of that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're around your peoples, them, and you're doing the things in which you're doing. Some things which are good, others which are not necessarily very
questionable.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, questionable. Yeah. that's a good. Yeah, questionable. And you just doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're doing.
Growing
Now and
living, yeah.
again, you may a window may open and you think of the future, but more time you're just here. So when the elders are telling you certain things, like I was being told quite a number of times by one of my uncles, more regular than other people, was if you don't slow down, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're either gonna die or go to prison. And I hated him telling me that. Because it's like almost like every time he's telling me this. And I just say to him, why do you keep telling me this? Do you know what I'm saying? Why is it wherever you go, there's always problems, you're always in a madness, you're always in something. But I'm like, uncle, but I'm not all right. I don't back down from fighting. This is as a youth.
Yeah.
I don't back down from fighting, but I'm not a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I just don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to run. I'm going to stand my ground. 5 guys, 10 guys, don't care. I will stand my ground.
Yeah.
I don't understand where. You understand?
Yeah.
It almost sounded like.
Was it solely that your capacity to be able to defend yourself? Was it solely that he was talking about, or was it because when we were young? I remember I heard sometimes things not unlike that. More like like I remember being told. You ever been told? I know you're hearing it. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, but I'm going to tell you, and being told stuff. Yeah. Do you think it was because he knew you had a propensity to be able to protect yourself and do a lot of damage, or just maybe because you're in Stokey? Yeah. Like sometimes, like he was. I know what was going on with you. It might not just because you could kick someone down. It might not just be that. You know what was there. Yeah. It could be the person you're rolling with, or their reputation, the person next to them, or what they've seen like last week. Or my mum would worry about if she saw something on the news. Yeah. Automatically, back in the day, she would say something like she would, put the two together. When you're going out, when you hang on with a bad gang, this is going to happen. And it was that kind of lecture you would get. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm saying, where did it derive from? This particular lecture? I don't know where it
derived from because it was always. You see,
I'd say, do you know what? Some people are born fighters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Some people learn how to fight.
That's right. Yeah,
and what
100%.
happens within family sometimes is that they don't understand someone that actually doesn't mind fighting. So it's like the problem is them getting to understand that you don't mind fighting. When I was young, I didn't mind. So, but people saw it as problems. I didn't want the problems neither, but I just wouldn't back down.
Okay. No, actually, this then.
Right.
So now, knowing what we know now, can you understand how they may have seen a strong young black man that can defend himself, that wasn't afraid to defend himself, that could potentially get you in trouble?
You're older now. But you always had a family member that did clock you. I don't know if that was the same for you, but there was always one person that clocked you because he kind of understood. He might have been a fighter himself. Yeah. So he understood. He doesn't judge you, and then your relationship with him or her is totally different.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny you should say that because that was his brother. His brother, the younger one, he understood me. He understand me. But my other uncle, he was always getting at me.
Yeah.
And it's what you said. We are natural born fighters, all of us. Obviously, each of us at different capabilities and things, but we have a natural way in which we defend ourselves. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? I've always been that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So maybe he's attacked on the fact that someone didn't tap into that side of themselves yet.
Yeah, could possibly, yeah.
But
it's mad because as I got older, obviously I understood what he was saying because I look back and see how I was.
But you would have taken a different approach.
Yes. But as a youth man, I was thinking, why are you always getting at me? But as an older person, I even had the conversation with him and I said, I didn't like you, I didn't like you. I didn't like you because I felt like you was always on my case every time I saw you. You understand? But as I'm older, I understand. I can see now what you was looking at. I wasn't righted in my head. I can say that.
So... you might be a warrior. He was a warrior.
No. I wasn't right.
So you're right. You're right now, though, right?
I wasn't like I was very hot-headed. I mean, like the slightest little thing would just make me go off on one.
Okay, but wait. Was you like that? Would you know if you was like that from younger than that age? Like, was you like that
from as young as I can remember? I think
4, 5, 6, 7. Do you know, do you know how? That's what I'm saying. Do you know your trait? Has anyone commented on that at a younger age than teenagers?
Sorry, say that again.
Has anyone commented on that? To say not. So your uncle talking to you. Yeah. You was, how old was you? Like 12, 13?
Even younger. Yeah.
Even younger.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, when was it? What, 5?
No, I'd say from maybe about 9.
9. But so what
9,
I'm
10,
asking is,
yeah.
have you always had a tempo? Have you
Always.
been okay?
Always, because I remember when I went Berger, primary school.
Okay. Berger, where's that in?
That's in Homerton.
Okay.
Because I used to live in Nisbet House.
Okay. Nisbet
when I was
House.
a
Why
lot
do I know
younger.
that?
That's in Homerton.
I know
That was the
place.
first place I lived. So when I was born in Mother's Hospital, it was Nisbet
Nisbet
House I was living.
I know that, man. You're gone.
So in Homerton,
Across the road.
opposite the library. Homerton
yeah,
Library.
yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I recall going to Berger Primary School, and a teacher upset me in the school. And what I did is these times I remember it was snowing, and I picked up a stone and I wrapped it in the snow and I dashed it after the teacher. These are the kind of madness I used to do. I used to just do a madness. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I used to do a madness.
Yeah.
But I've come a long way. I've come a long way from that.
Good, yeah. No, mate. It's free. That's
I've
free.
come a long way.
Nice,
I've come a lot, and that's my
nice.
birth number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I've come a long way from that, man. So I give thanks.
How early did you start doing martial arts?
From the age of 9 years old. But it's mad because physically I started at 9. But I would say the universe was preparing me long before that. Because the reason why I say that is because my dad used to always be playing martial art movies like regularly. Do you know what I'm saying? And plus I used to always see him training. Those times he was doing karate, in which he was a brown belt in karate. And he was also one of the youngest black belt holders in Britain.
Nice.
In judo. You understand?
Okay, judo's a serious sport, mate.
You understand? So he was doing his thing in competitions and everything.
Can I
got
just
trophies and all of that.
Yeah.
And I used to see him as a youth man training always. This is in Nisbet House.
Yeah.
So I was almost being prepared to get involved. And then when I got to 9 years old, that's when he started to teach me. But he didn't teach me an actual style. What he teach me is what I now called raw, ROAR. Yeah, which is the art of response, observation, awareness, and reaction.
Raw.
Nice. You understand?
Yeah.
So he didn't teach me an actual art. So what he did teach me, even though he knew arts,
Yeah.
because he also went into whaling as well from my uncle.
Yeah.
He just taught me just to react and be aware of my environment. You understand? So he'll do
To respond.
He'll do things like, let's say for example, I walked in this room. I'll walk in the room and he'll be hiding behind there on the wall and he will just jump out and attack me and I have to react. You understand? And if I don't react, it's a lick in the face, a thump in the chest. Not hard, not abuse and tempting there, but to get me, you understand? And I got that a lot. I'll come in, I'll be out with a man's them and I'll come out and I'll come inside, sorry, and it'll attack me. You understand? Because this continued. This weren't just when I was young, 9. It continued on until I was fucking in my teens, bro.
Seriously?
Yeah, bro.
That's good.
It's mad. But it
prepared you, innit?
It prepared me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then by the age of 10, he sent me on to learn Ling from my Uncle Ruben, who is the founder of Ling.
Okay. Can you explain Ling to me?
Ling, the foundation of Ling is, because at the time, what it was, my Uncle Ruben Joseph from Hackney, he at the time was training karate, doing very well as well. And he was also an amateur boxer, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, he was doing his thing. He was living in London Fields with Auntie Marjorie. And within the same dwelling, there was a Chinese man by the name of Brian Lau. Yeah, Brian Lau. Brian Lau used to always see Uncle Ruben in the garden doing his thing, you know what I mean, doing his thing, whatever. And one day, Brian Lau came out and he said to Uncle Ruben, touch me. You understand? He said, touch me. His uncle was like, what do you mean touch me? So he tried to touch him. And Brian Lau was doing all kind of, and Uncle Ruben couldn't touch him. Now, bearing in mind, Uncle Ruben was good at what he done. You understand? He couldn't touch him. So he's thinking like, bro, what's this? You get me? Then after conversation, he it came to the understanding that Brian Lau studied Wing Chun and Tai Chi. You understand? And his son, I think he had 2 sons, and one of his sons knew Lama, Crane, Ape, and Inch Punch. So he learnt the Wing Chun and the Tai Chi from Brian Lau, and the rest from his son. Do you understand? When he realised this thing, he was like, whoa, he couldn't believe how great this thing was. So from then, he done away with the karate, and he threw away everything, kept the bottoms, and dyed them black. Do you get me? And he became a student of Brian Lau.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Yeah? But Brian Lau, I don't know how long he trained with Brian Lau for, but Brian Lau eventually got, I was going to say evicted, got deported because he wasn't supposed to be in the country. Now, at this time, Uncle Reuben, he didn't know the whole system or discipline of Wing Chun. He didn't know the whole discipline of anything that he was being taught.
Okay, yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
But yet, he loved the martial arts so much, he didn't want to go back to karate because it's like, I've done this. What do I do now? Because I don't want to go backwards. So what did he do? Everything that he learned from it, he put it all together. Yeah? He put it all together, and then he went out to test out what it is that he's devised.
Well, he went out and what? He never went out and started fights. He went out and competition.
He went out to fight on the roads. Anyone who knew martial arts, he went out to fight them. Yeah. He went out to fight.
What year was this?
Bruv, he closed down schools.
What year was this?
This is in the 70s.
Okay.
He closed down schools. For example, my father, right, when he was doing I'm not sure if it was karate or judo at the school that my Uncle Reuben went to, but the teacher, I think his name was Chris, that my dad was under at the time. He was saying, this thing that Reuben is teaching's rubbish, kung fu's rubbish. I can't remember if it's karate or judo, but whichever one it was is superior. Blah blah blah. So Uncle Reuben went down there with 2 other mans, which was Radix.
Like the movie, yeah.
Yeah, which was Radix, yeah, who at one point was teaching me Lama, yeah, and who else was it? I can't remember the other person he went down there with. He went down there with 2 people, and this was after a rave. You understand me? He went down there.
You had to cut the drinks. When he went
Yeah, of course, he had some drinks. Yeah, he went down there, and he basically just bruck up the teacher in front of the whole students. You understand? My dad being one of the students. So what happened is the students left that teacher and went to my uncle, including my dad. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And he
this was like real movie. This like movie.
Yeah.
Movie stuff.
This was in Hackney Hospital, because there was classes in Hackney Hospital. So if there's a guy called Chris, you know I'm talking about you. Yeah.
That's the
you
guy
know I'm talking about you because
okay.
you try to set up my father. You understand? Yeah. But Uncle Reuben done with that.
Yeah.
Done with that.
Yeah.
So basically, before Uncle Reuben began teaching, as I said, he challenged people. People challenged him because they saw how good he was and thing. And what he done is, any art that he thought was good, he would incorporate certain things. So if he fought someone and they got through, or he got through, it's like, okay, take that, deal with that, drop that, improve on that, blah, 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 until he realized to himself, okay, now I'm ready to teach. And he started teaching in his house. And that's where he first started teaching in his house.
Yeah.
And then after that, he just opened a school.
So the name of his art, what's it?
Wei Ling, Wayling. He made that.
So that name, he even named it. Yeah?
He even named it. And the reason why, I'm glad you said that, you just brought me to a point. The reason why he named it Wei Ling, because like Bruce Lee used to say, no way is way, no limitation is a limitation. So did Brian Lau speak that. You understand? So that's why he called it Wei Ling, because he was like, okay.
Well, you talk very fast. Whoa.
Sorry, let me slow down.
You know, Bruce Lee said,
no way as way and no limitation as a limitation.
No way has way and no limitation has a limitation.
No way as way and no limitation
way, no limitation
as a limitation.
As a limitation.
So
no way as a way.
No way as way.
As way.
no limitation,
No limitation.
as a limitation.
As a limitation. All right.
So in a nutshell,
What do you mean?
you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. There's many ways than one to do anything. You can't. If I wanted to get over this desk,
To attack me.
not to attack you, because me and you is friend. And you ain't done me nothing.
Can I just take this time to
This
say...
all peace right here.
hold on.
You get me?
No, yeah,
This
no,
all
yeah,
peace
yeah,
right
yeah.
here. But
Wait.
yes.
No,
Yes,
I'm ready.
yes,
I've got my
yes,
things. No,
yes.
while he was talking,
Yes.
everyone at home as well, you like this. I don't know how you'll feel. My hand after clapping your hand was hurting me. I was under the table and I like, oh, you saw that shit?
Yeah,
And I'm gonna use no, bro, you was talking.
Yeah.
You was talking, but you was talking seriously.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, you fucked up my hand, but because what you was saying was so serious.
sorry.
It was no,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good.
I went light.
He got a taste
But
of
you
his
know what
own
it is?
medicine.
You know what it is?
It's the chi.
You know what it is. You know what it is. You know
Go
what
on.
it is. And I'll go back to where I finished.
Yeah, cool.
What it is. If you go light and relaxed, it becomes harder.
Yeah.
So I have to remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I was under here,
Yeah.
but you was mid conversation, like
Yeah.
talking about something like how the thing started.
Yeah.
And I want to say, nah, but you know my hands hurt me. But it wasn't supposed to be inserted there. But now we paused,
Yeah.
and I got it out, I got
Insert
it
it
in.
wherever you need to.
Yeah.
You
So
know
let's
what I
go
mean?
back to the
We
way,
keep it natural.
the reason that your uncle called it Wei Ling.
So, Wei was for obviously no way as way. Ling, it was like Ling, can't really call it Ling. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, can't really call it limb. Limb is like limbs, and you understand? So he's like, okay, what can I call it? Like, Wei Ling. So he changed it from limb to Ling. That's where he came up with Wei Ling. So when you hear the word Wei Ling or the name Wei Ling, it reminded him of Brian Lau, his teacher. And it also reminded him of what Brian Lau used to say, no way is way, no limitation is a limitation.
Cool. I was gonna ask you. The next thing I'm gonna ask you what was there. I was gonna ask you what was the ethos, what was their foundation, but then obviously with the mixture of everything, how would you describe that art?
I would describe the art as abstract. I would describe the art as being gentle as well as aggressive. I would describe it as being short as well as long. When I say short, I mean Uncle Ruben used to always say to me, you need to know how to defend yourself in a phone box if need be. You understand? And he used to actually do that, train in the phone box with people. You understand? Yeah? And long arm meaning long distance. You understand? So like how me and you are long distance. So he used to do things like when he he used to take students to places like Epping Forest and places like that, nighttime, blindfolded, and people have to fight each other. Everybody have to fight each other.
That's serious shit.
Or in the class, you got chairs stacked all around the place, and the lights lock off, blindfolded, and you have to fight. So it'd be like everybody will be like this, and you hear him say "go," and you have to move.
The Wei Ling way. How did that come about? And that's what we kind of paused from. How did that come about? And yeah,
The Wailing Way. Okay. Before I go to what the Wailing Way is,
that's right. That's it. Right. Yes. Sorry.
wailing is also street. It's not your traditional kung fu art, yeah, in which you learn to fight people who fight like you. Because you find in a lot of schools, you have the arts, they fight and learn to fight like those who are like themselves. Do you know what I mean? So when they come up against someone who's not like themselves, they get thrown off.
Makes sense. They get
It's
beat up.
dojo stuff. There's a difference between dojo and street, what it's like out on the road. So Uncle Ruben always taught, and I also adopted that, in which where teach to be able to react to anything, not just wailing guys. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, because he did the boxing, it was amateur boxing thing. As I said, he implemented boxing within Wailing, and he implemented street fighting to Wailing because he was a street fighter. A street fighter is the worst fighter you could ever come across, because them people there will do any and anything, pick up anything. They are unpredictable. You understand? A lot of martial arts schools, they're very
Rigid.
Do this, do this, do this, do this. The worst person you come up against is one who just do. You understand? Wailing, we just do. You know what I mean? But Wailing Way, right? So Wailing Way was what I introduced. You understand?
Okay, the way is your.
So Wailing,
yeah,
is Uncle Ruben. That's his baby, which he gave me the mantle before he died.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he died in 2011, and he passed it on to me. I was quite honoured that he told me that I had moved things along, because I was thinking, what do you mean? Do you know what I mean?
Taking it to the next level.
You taking it to the next level. I'm like, you sure? I knew that I did stuff, but I didn't see it as I took it to the next level, because I knew the level he was on. I was like, I'm always looking up to him. This is when he was sick. I spoke to him in the hospital before he went to the hospice.
What did he pass off?
Cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, cancer. You know what I mean? And not only did he say that, but other elders within the art, my dad, Steve, Radix, various other people that were like first generation Wailing students that I looked to. Do you know what I mean? Inspired to be like, not to be as, but be like in terms of the levels, but the levels within myself. Do you understand? And when they're telling me that I have gone somewhere else and I've passed the levels and this and that, and when Uncle Ruben died, they're telling me that like Radix, for example, Radix was one of Uncle Ruben's right hand man, and Radix was like one of the guys who was like, listen, he was very, very close in terms of his abilities, Uncle Ruben, not on the same levels, but he was close. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I thought that he would have been one of the people that probably would have continued it on, because he was deadly. So when I'm hearing him say to me, nah, you've taken this thing further, even to the point where he sent his sons to come and learn from me, I'm like, how? What do you mean? Do you know what I mean?
Is your dad older than him or is he younger than him?
I'm not actually sure, but I think they're around about the same generation, but I'm not sure in ages.
It's the same thing that happened with you and him.
How do you mean?
Like he was
Uncle.
the one teaching you. He was your uncle. But
Yes.
you know your dad did it, but he taught you.
Yes.
So that same space that he gave,
Yes.
that his dad gave you,
Yeah.
he then passed on to you with his kids.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
saying?
saying. I hear what you're saying.
It didn't have to be him. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't have to be.
But this is what it is. This is what it is. I saw it as Radix. The level that Radix was on, I saw it as Radix was good enough to be teaching his sons. You understand?
yeah.
And teaching his sons way better than what I would be teaching them, because the levels he's at. But he's telling me, you're the one. So though that at this point, I'm feeling like the boy in
Neo. What's that?
no in
Bruce Leroy.
what's
it Last
Avatar.
Dragon? Oh,
The
okay,
last
yeah,
Airbender.
yeah.
You know when he was told,
Yang or
and he
Ang.
ran away. He ran away
yeah,
because it's like, whoa, it's too much. What are you
to
talking
know.
about? And he ran away. Do you remember? That's how I felt. I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you get what I'm trying to
Neo in
say?
the Matrix.
I had to phone up Radix and say to him, because Chris, we grew up like cousins. Yeah, me and Chris and Michael. Yeah, Michael and Chris are brothers. Chris told me that, yeah, my dad was saying like, it's you and da-da-da. I'm like, Chris, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I had to phone his dad and speak to his dad. I'm like, what do you mean? Do you know what I'm saying? What do you mean? And he's like, no, you're the one. My dad, same thing. Steve, same thing. All these people telling me the same thing. So I only had to accept it. And especially it came from Uncle Ruben as well, telling me I took it to the next level. Do you know what I'm saying?
Experience, you have to exercise some humility.
Yeah.
And give some faith to their judgment, because these people, men that you respect, that have taught you so much, that you're looking up to them. So for them to say that and know that, and to acknowledge that,
Yes.
you can't be anything but that, really, you know? And then the way we look at ourselves is different to how people see us. And
That's real.
You know, like when you're training, you'll be training, and because you're so in the training, and I just know it, I've done martial arts, but nowhere to the level you have. But in the training, you don't realise how much you've excelled. Like the same with you, got these guys, they're not paying attention, but they'll be in the studio. Some people in the studio, they've been in the studio for like hours or days. And it's when they come out, they would have created so much stuff, but you don't realise until you play it to someone else. Or, some other people are watching, they're like, mate, your style has evolved. You're stronger and wiser. You're doing like mental, emotional, and physical movements. Like, come on.
And the honor around fighting as well has got that thing. You know, like, you see, like, even everything that you've said in your story, it proper reminds me of some of the kung fu movies I watched back in the day. You know, like when the uncle's on his deathbed, and he's telling the guy, like, it's you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
That's right.
No, uncle.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He's stupid, this guy.
He's right, though. He's right.
But only reason
It's
why
true.
that would be happening is because you're
it's
fighters.
true.
He taught you how to fight. You know what I'm saying? You're the student.
Yeah.
But that's why when I'm listening to it, I'm like, nah,
I'm hearing you
100.
I'm hearing you 100%.
When you're not just saying, yes, I am. It is me. You know what I mean? He's like,
not,
let me call,
I'm
man.
like,
What are you talking about? Like,
I'm confused.
Humility.
I'm thrown off.
There's more reason why.
Thrown right the way off. You know what I mean?
That's what I like about it.
But, you know, I give thanks. For, you know, the teachings. I give thanks for the advice and the support that I got, not only from Uncle Ruben, but from other whaling members of the family. Because there's many of us, some which have passed away, some which are still here. But the whaling family is a big family. You're talking about from 1976 until now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's a big family. Those in which Uncle Ruben taught, those in which I've taught, and those in which Uncle Ruben's taught, who I've also taught.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because some which he taught also came under my umbrella of teachings. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm saying whaling way, I'm saying the whaling way is no way. It's just do.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in other words, it's not the bottle, it's what's inside the bottle. Because when you dash out what's inside the bottle, there's no form. You understand? So it just is. It's just do. There's no form to it.
No. I'm trying to really think of the question because I've got so many different questions. But I'm not.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in today's modern. You know, ask question.
No, I was thinking in how you're speaking.
Yeah.
You've got to remember.
Yes.
There's a language.
Yes.
You know, like everything he's saying, it's a language within.
What's that?
You know, like even how what he's explaining to you now.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's a language within understanding martial arts as well. Do you guys saying even when you're saying like be like water? I see like Bruce Lee even talking about that. Like don't hold no shape. Like be like water and things like that.
Yeah.
But you see, if you don't really understand what they
mean,
or even anything about your practice,
yes,
I think that's where it kind of will do that.
You know what it is? How I speak is outside of martial arts and just how I talk.
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? It's just how I speak. So, for example, if we was just talking like outside and we just feel relaxed and
Yeah.
But there's times where I get very formal, and there's times where I feel relaxed.
Definitely.
So I think it depends on where my mind state takes me at the time within that moment, as well as what it is that you've asked me. So, for example, if you've asked me a question there now, and it's a question in which I have to really think about, then I have to kind of reset myself, think, and this is all like quick, think, and then give my response. You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
And then other things where I don't need to think so much, because you'll find that
No,
sometimes,
you already
for
know the
example-
response to.
Sorry.
Some things you already know the response to.
Sometimes you already know the response to, exactly.
Like certain things, certain blocks you'd already know.
Right. And then there's other things that you may ask where you'd have to think. You know it, but there are things where you might have to think so much. Like you might ask what year did it or what age did it, and these things you might have to think about.
Sometimes when you're thinking, when people see you're kind of thrown off and you're having to think about stuff, they ask you more questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Just to fuck you up.
Yeah,
and usually it's him over there.
That
He asks you more, you know me,
you know
bro.
what?
He'll see that I'm still thinking, I'm like, yes, you ask me 10 questions, you get me all the time.
It does happen where questions will be thrown at you and you'll be like, Do you know what I'm saying? And you may even answer it incorrectly, not because you don't understand the question, but sometimes because you don't remember at that specific time what the answer is within the reality that you live.
You got to take time, innit?
So sometimes you've got to take time and dig.
And that's what I was explaining. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So sometimes you're naturally just, you should understand this. You know that
That's right.
You're assuming that you should understand this.
That's right.
You know, be like
Yeah.
what's in this, not the what is, and then something like, okay, yeah, like they get you, but then when you actually practice the art, you're understanding what you mean, like as in be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Even when you're just understanding yourself, like I'd ask you if you don't mind me asking him,
Yes.
when's the last time you had to use it?
The last time I've had to use it, that's a good question. The last time I had to use it was, I can't remember the year, but I think I was about, I can't remember my age.
If you can remember
But I remember my eldest son was probably around about 8 years old, 9 years old, possibly. He was born in the year 1998. And I think he was around
98?
about yeah.
So he's in his 20s now?
I was in my 20s, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had. I had some kids around then.
Yeah.
Around then, 98.
Yeah. So I think my son was around about 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
But I recall I was training in Hackney Downs Park, and it's crazy. I'll tell you why. I was training in Hackney Downs Park, doing little bits and pieces. It was nighttime. It was winter. It might have been around 6, 7 o'clock. I finished training, and then I stepped out onto the street, and I walked down Hackney Downs Park Road, where Mosbourne School is, the old Kingsland. And as I walked down there, a police van came past, slowed down. I thought, okay, carried on walking. You'll know what's going on there. So they've jumped out, telling me to stop. I didn't stop. I carried on walking because, as far as I'm concerned, I ain't done anything. I'm training in the park and I'm going about my business now. I'm going home. They tried to grab me. I yanked off. Tried to grab me. I yanked off. Told them to don't touch me and all them things there. And then this is now where they try to basically rush me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They tried to rush me. Yeah, they tried to rush me. And and you see, I'm hot-headed. I've got it under control. In the past, it was like, woo. I've got it under control now as an elder. Do you know what I'm saying? And through my training, I've learnt to get it under control, become one with it. But I'm being attacked. Bear in mind, I'm being attacked. So obviously, my head might go, not lose my head like where I'm out of control, but natural just because I'm now having to defend my well-being. Do you understand? But at the same time, I knew they were police, and I knew that what could happen, things get switched over and They didn't attack me, I attacked them. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I had that in mind. So I used the wailing, but I used it in a non-aggressive but aggressive way. A very subtle, where they came through with all this force and I just
Swiveled.
literally as they tried to grab me, I flipped out at that, flipped out, just pure And that's all I was doing. So I'm walking down the road, just moving like that. I'm just, come off of me, come on. I'm just doing all this. Do you understand? And they couldn't grab me because what? I became water when they tried to grab me with rocks. You understand me? They were rocks, I was water. So I slid through all the little nicks and crannies. And they were getting frustrated. But it got to the point where it's like, they weren't stopping. So I was like, you know what? It's pointless me carrying on doing this because they're just going to continue. I just put my hands up like that, and then that's when they fling me down the floor, and flipping near my back, my head, pull me up, handcuff me, flipping, searching me. They even searched my fob key, like. Do you know what I mean? Like searching the most dumbest things. Searching the bushes, all kind of thing. And you know what they said? They said there was gang warfare going on in the area. And they thought I was a part of that. I'm like, I'm a big man. I'm a big man. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To cut a long story short, I did make a complaint, do you know what I'm saying? I obviously got their names and all them things there. I didn't give a damn. I walked in the van and I said, what's your numbers? Walked in, I said, what's your numbers? Took their numbers down. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah, because I made one of them give me a pen. Give me a pen now. I need all your numbers. You understand? They gave me a pen and I walked through and your number. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And I made a complaint.
What would you say? This is what I was trying to pick out of my head before, and I might not have picked it out properly yet. But what would you say the role martial arts has got to play in maybe some of the youngsters understanding themselves? How fundamental do you think that could be for some people? Because even myself, I know I've dealt with anger management issues being a young man, even being an old man. I'm not going to fall into stereotype and say just because of the colour of my skin, men have anger issues sometimes, you know? And human beings, especially in this day and age, have stuff going on. But even more so than that, the youth have got loads going on in all different directions. You've got puberty, plus what's going on with the whole world, plus what's going on with themselves, what's going on with their family and all that. How beneficial do you think it would be for a young person to start a martial arts? And would there be any particular martial arts for them to start? Or what would be your advice for a young person? Like dealing with some of the issues maybe we've all dealt with. Because I know I've dealt with anger issues, like, you know? Like,
But the sounds of it sound like they need to go and do some wailing way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what. I was speaking to someone today at the gym, and I said, it's funny because the deeper you go into martial arts, learning how to fight, whether you know how to fight or not, you now go into an art where you now learn to be able to take someone down differently. You naturally are able to do what you're doing, yeah, or not. But you go into an art and you learn how to deal with the aggressor and whatnot. The deeper you go in is the less you get into fights.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Because you know the damage you can do, you're taught to behave as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are fighting now over fear. You know, like you said, you play gate fear when you start understanding you can protect yourself, you can defend yourself. Also, I saw something on the internet the other day. By the way, I love the stuff I see, your stuff online all the time. I always like it. I love the stuff I see. Inspirational, like the physical stuff, the comments, even the reactional video to some of the stuff that's going on. You had the one where the teacher was just whacking up the kid. It's just like, what was that? Like, it was really bad. Right. Like, what was that?
The Turkish guy.
What the hell was that?
That's how I changed him.
That's a lot.
And that goes on.
Yeah.
That's a lot. He slapped the kid like so hard.
Goes on.
Now that's a lot. But then also I saw
It's abuse.
I saw a picture of Chinese children or a video of Chinese children deconstructing a handgun. Like, but in a classroom, like on mass. Like,
I think
it says the caption was something like, while our kids mess around on TikTok, this is what they're teaching the Chinese children. Now, there's a lot of things going on there, right?
That's right.
Like, it could have easily been a cadet school. And that's what they do in cadet schools. They do that in cadet schools here at some point. But the propaganda machine has put you like, that's what Chinese people do. Huh?
Have you seen the army?
No, but I want to finish my thing first. But the
No, I'm
Chinese
saying
army.
that's why it might not be. If you see the army and how they move.
No, I'm not. Did you hear I said might be? I'm not. I said might be.
What would sell that to people is how their army does.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I would say I wouldn't say it's total nonsense.
No, of course
because I believe that it could be true, but I don't know the propaganda machine. But what I wanted to get to was how beneficial in you as well. Do you think it would be for us here to have something like that in our infrastructure? We're complaining about the youth and how they behave and the no respect and the everything, and there's the family thing is broken down. If the government put on free martial arts classes or something like that, you know, like something where we didn't have to pay for it, but it was there for you to experience. Do you think that could?
I think society would be a better place.
Do you know? And I think that's what the Chinese are doing. They're channeling their children. Well, maybe they did a bit more than that. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They probably are. But they channel them from young. Like they channel the energies. They give
the government implementing thing. That'd have to be in schools because you couldn't implement an adult to do.
Yeah, and why don't they though? This is my thing. Why don't they?
Because
Because they're not really about the betterment of the world, are they? Not really.
It's a money thing.
They're
Everything's
not
about
really
money.
about it.
But if you was gonna implement it, I think
Yes.
the schools would be the best place. Like an adult has to go and take themselves somewhere.
Yes.
But as a child, you're given stuff to learn.
It should be part of physical education. Or
No, I
something.
believe that. As I said, I
Children.
think it should be part of PE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I
So
agree.
instead of that, but I feel like once you get past a certain stage, like you won't. If you hasn't been indoctrinated into you, you're not gonna have the interest. Like him, he had interest in training because he saw it. Maybe you saw someone training when you was younger.
Me, Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee,
Bruce Lee was a thing.
and fear.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee and fear of getting beaten up. Even like I won't lie. Even up to now, I train semi because of fear. Because I don't want to get beat up. I don't want none of my children, none of the people that I love to get hurt. So for that fear fuels me. That fear will make me. That's my toughness. You know, like you're a beast. You know, anyone come to your family, you're a beast. But it's like my thing. Most of my training, most of my stuff, it comes from fear and wanting to be able to protect my loved ones and my family, and that's where it comes from. Cause like, and it just, you know. But then
And getting the women.
On that note, I love this guys. I love this guy. On that note, I want to talk about.
But before you go into the next thing,
I want to talk to you about you.
but definitely, if more children got involved in martial arts, any form of martial arts, I think that violence would definitely
decrease.
Because they'll learn more self-control. They'll learn more self-love. They'll learn more self-discipline and all these type of things.
That's what we need.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They just everybody's out there because they don't really love themselves. You understand?
Well, they're confused as well. Yeah.
You don't love yourself, you ain't gonna love anybody else. You ain't gonna have no respect for anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you said what art would be the best art to do? The best art to do would be the best art that you feel fits you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's no art out there that is the greatest or the best over another. Do you know what I'm saying? The art is just a name. Do you know what I'm saying? The actual presentation of the art comes through each individual. Do you know what I'm saying? So us 1, 2, 3, us 4, if we all learnt Wei Ling, we would all present Wei Ling in our own way. So you might be a man who's like fully on the ape. You understand? You might be the snake man and llama. You understand? You might be crane and peeling fist. You understand what I'm saying?
I call him the human crane anyway.
Yeah. You see it there? You understand what I'm saying to you? So we'll all present it in our own way. Which is why on that video online where it said Aikido versus MMA, I had to interject and say, well, no, this is not Aikido versus MMA. This is John versus Paul.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. You see, you said
what
something
it is.
else as well on about styles and how they fit you, and it's about going into the trainer shop.
Yeah.
That analogy you made.
Yeah,
Can you make that again? That analogy
I was
again.
saying, what did I say? I said
About how martial arts are.
when you walk into a sports shop, you may like a pair of trainers, but do those trainers suit you? Let's say you're going out. Does it suit what you're planning on wearing to go out? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But guess what? You've put it on. You've walked around the shop. How do they fit? Do they have your size? Are they digging into your little foot, into your little toe? Sorry. Are they comfortable? So it's not always about what looks good to your eye. It's also about what is fitting for you. You understand? So it's about the hand and glove thing. You know what I mean? Comfortability. Because obviously I have done various arts, and those arts in which I went into, I would say they did fit me. But the one art that didn't fit me was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which was the most recent thing I went into, only I think last year or the year before. I went into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I wanted to build myself to a point where, okay, if I'm taken down to the floor, naturally we all know how to deal with situations where we're on the floor, but I want to now be trained in being able to deal with things when they go to the floor. So I went into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was in there until I got my first bar. But although I enjoyed it, at first it was weird, yeah, because it's like,
But
you know what I mean? Two man and everything, you're on the floor, man, his face is breathing in you and all that.
He's got his fucking
You
face,
get what I'm
he's back
saying?
in their fucking arse in your face.
It's all mad, like,
Their arse will be
you
in
get
your
what-
face, yeah.
Yo!
It's a lot.
It's all mad, yeah. It's all mad. But once you get over the initial like, whoa, what's going on here? You start to realize the art within it. Do you know what I mean? But the reason why I had to stop, I got to my first bar. The reason why I had to stop is because I started to get, experiencing issues in my fingers. I'll do things like I might go to pick up this bottle and it would hurt my fingers. You know what I mean? Anything I tried to pick up, it would hurt my fingers. I tried to do up my zip, it would hurt my fingers. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And it was the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because you do a lot of grabbing of the gi and all these things there. They're trying to pull off and they're trying to pull your hand off. You're trying to grab and hold, and it's causing issues in your joints. Do you know what I'm saying? And what happens is, from what I understand, as I looked it up, I can't remember exactly what it's saying, but certain things starts releasing out of your joints and everything there, and then it crystallizes and all that, and you can start getting like certain
Abnormalities.
Abnormalities within your knuckles and that, to the point where they start looking like ET fingers and all them things there. You get what I'm saying? And I saw certain people like that. And I'm looking through the net and I'm seeing people's fingers all like, and I'm saying, no. Because initially when I was feeling all of this, I was thinking, maybe it's conditioning.
Jiu-Jitsu's not for me,
Yeah, because you know like when you go to
I'll
the gym.
stick with the Ling way.
That's right. You know when you go to the gym and you feel certain pain and that, you say,
conditioning.
right, it's because it's the conditioning.
Breaking it down so it can
Exactly.
rebuild.
Yeah. So I thought with the jiu-jitsu, it's the same thing with my fingers. You understand? And when I started to come to the realization that not everybody, but some people will get these type of abnormal fingers and all of that, and the fingers are weak and all these things there, I said, no. I'm trying to better myself. I'm not trying to destroy myself. Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
And because I saw that it was destroying my fingers, me being able to use my fingers normally. Yeah, because I'm struggling to use my fingers basically to even pick up a bottle of water or whatever. I was like, nah, I have to stop, and so I did.
Would you? Yeah, I don't know about jiu-jitsu. I'm scared of injuries and stuff myself. Like I've always been a person. If I'm gonna fight, I don't even spar. If I want to fight, I just fight. Like I hate sparring. If I want to fight, I fight. If I get fucked up, I get fucked up. But I'm not gonna play fight. I got my legs cracked once, like sparring. I said, I'm not fighting no more. I just if I want to fight, I'm gonna fight, or I'm not fighting. It's very simple. Very simple question. This is what it is.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what it is. And why?
I hear that.
It's true. Yeah,
I'm not gonna
That's
break
fine.
my ribs playing.
Nah, sparring, I can fight someone better than me. I can learn from him and all that. But then it's like you said before, like, and God bless it, sparring helps you and stuff, and it can get your wits up. But then people spar more time to be good in a sport where you're fighting against another person. If I deep it, like you said, that's what you've said to me, and it makes sense. That's why I'm deep it from there. So if I'm not going to the ring to fight with a boxer, and then if I spar and train as a boxer, but then I come across a kung fu man, all that training as a boxer is fucked. So I ought to just be able to just be trained to react, to fight.
React, yes.
And then wherever you try and box me, kick me, bite me, roll down on the floor with me, I'll react to whatever you're doing, and hopefully the reaction will be the appropriate reaction.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Because the reality is this. The reality is this. Like my eldest son, like my middle child, my daughter has learnt more. My eldest son and my middle child, they've learnt the basics. But in what I've taught them, they are able to take that and use that for the rest of their lives.
It's good.
You understand? Because that's what it is. When you go into an art, from you learn the fundamentals, that's you.
Oh, yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
You don't need to go into all this and
Other
that,
stuff,
train
yeah.
for 15 years and all that. If you continue to build on the fundamentals, keep training the fundamentals, that alone will serve you.
It makes sense.
That alone. Do you remember Moist Roy? I don't know if you remember Moist Roy. He went Hybrid Grove.
Moist Roy.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names. I'm better with faces. But
It's like you'd know him if you remember him if you saw him.
Go on.
Like him for example. When I was teaching him, because I started teaching like when I was 18 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like on and off teaching all the way through to 2015, and then I stopped and I started teaching my daughter and whatnot, my sons and whatever.
You still
At
teaching
one
now?
point, at the moment, I'm teaching my daughter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I go to get her to go to taekwondo, when we're waiting for the bus and things like that.
I've seen it. I've seen you. Yeah. I've seen you trying to see if she can touch you. Like,
that's
I've
right.
seen it. Yeah, I've
That's
seen
right.
it.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's good.
And
It's good. I see you out in the
she's
park
doing
as
very
well.
well. You know what I mean? Like people, literally, a lot of students are afraid to spar with her and that. You know what I mean? Because she really goes in. You know what I mean?
And I just like to say that's a beautiful thing to be able to share with your children as well. Irrespective, which is a very good thing, the benefits of the martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very important that us as fathers, all the fathers, but especially black fathers, are there and have some connection with your children and have something where you can both share. It can be anything you want it to be, guys. Find something. It doesn't be much. It could be going to the park. It can be art. It can be anything you want it to be. Like even the voice behind the camera. I'm in awe of his what's the word? The way he holds the place where he holds his family is in the right place, and then it's in the right place. It's seriously it's in the right place. Seriously, and it's just if I can do that, I try my best to do that on his level. Like you see young people's level, like he's on the level. It's good, and everyone I think should take care of their kids. Even what you're saying now, I see you out to your daughter. I've got little ones and big ones. I'm in awe of that because you can't buy that. She will remember that for the rest of her life. You're giving her stuff to help her through life. You understand?
What do you do with your son in the box?
Other people are watching, you know, like that there, you can't put a price on that stuff, brother.
Yeah.
You cannot put a price on it. And it is so imperative that no matter what happens between you and your partner, you take care of your pitney them and you spend time with them, help grow them, because after a certain point, it's too late. You got to put something in that pot, the food, to grow them. You have to. They've got your genes already, but put something in that pot and keep putting. Seriously, please, guys, please. My guy. So yeah, you teach her at the bus stop and everything.
Yeah, man. As I said,
Your daughter,
I teach my daughter, and I've taught my son. The level in which I've taught my son, that's enough to carry him through.
Yeah.
That is, and my eldest, that's enough to carry him through. My eldest has even said to me that he is grateful for the warrior that I have built him to be. You understand? Because he's seen how I am. Do you know what I mean? He's seen how I've seen how my dad was, which is why I am the way I am, where could be 5 man, could be 2 man, could be 10 man. I'm having it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was worse
But
when
not
I was
right now,
younger.
it's dangerous now.
No, it's
Yeah, but
worse
yeah.
when I was younger because it was like, that's all it was.
Yeah.
As I'm older now and I'm more wise,
Yeah.
it's not about what you can and can't do. It's about, is it worth it?
And
What
the
can
outcome.
what can exactly
what's
what
gonna
can
happen
actually
from this?
happen?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So although there's no fear there, it doesn't mean because there's no fear that you are to proceed and continue on with fighting 10 man. Fighting 10 man it may not serve you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're not
to you?
getting paid for it. I mean,
Exactly right.
what do you think about the UFC? MMA.
How do you mean? In what sense?
In the sense where it is coming within my lifetime.
Yeah.
We never. Oh, I was alive when it was only boxing. I was alive when Rocky was a hero for us. I was alive when I was watching TV when Tyson busts out on the scene. I was knocking man out so quick they had to put cartoons on in the morning after his fights. Like literally, they were. If man was alive, they know. People talk about Tyson, but only certain people was alive through certain pieces. We've lived a lot of stuff. Our generation have lived.
We have.
Our feet is in a lot of stuff, brother.
A lot of changes.
Yeah,
Transitions,
but being a martial artist and then seeing that, because you had stuff over in different places like K2 or K1 or whatever, in different parts of the world, but mainly in the Asians where people fought more. Being a martial artist and seeing the way that has evolved now, what do you think of it as a spectator sport, as something to entice people to get into it? What do you think of it? Like the whole bringing together.
I think MMA is lovely.
Yeah,
I like MMA.
there you go. Why?
MMA is nothing new. It's just mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts has been going on for the longest time. It's just that now it's become mainstream.
Competition.
Do you know what I mean? Competitions and all that. You have martial artists who are in it for reasons of personal growth and all these things, you know what I mean? Self-discipline, And then you have those who train in it because they want to fight in competitions and get money, get belts, be seen, and all of this. So it depends on what are you in it for. And then you have those who are right down the middle. Do you know what I mean? I've always been in it for health, for fitness, for discipline, because my head weren't right and all these things. You know what I mean? I wasn't in it to be fighting in competitions. I was in it to be fighting for real life situations. For myself and for my family.
And to make the right decisions.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's also one of the reasons why I didn't get into competitions. It was because of my father and my uncle used to tell me reasons in which I shouldn't get into all of that, because they got into all of that sort of stuff. You understand? But even though cause I always wanted to be fighting and all them thing there. Like when I was doing the boxing, I did boxing like when I was 13. And that. I said, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to fight. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I never did get into all of that because of what was being drummed into my head and thing like that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But then the run, I can't lie. One of the reasons why I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is because I got into the mind frame like, you know what? I don't care what my uncle told me. I don't care what my dad told me. Now I want to go in the ring and fight. Show my thing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You understand? Not show my thing on an ego, not on an ego thing. Like I have to show everybody, but for myself, because I knew that there was a time where I wanted to do that. Yeah. And I got put off.
Yeah.
You understand? Throughout the years. So one day I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? All right, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grappling. That's one of the things I'll get. Okay, so let me do the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's why I got into it. But I started to, so that threw me off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
All know that, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Some things are for us. Do you think it's
But sorry. So yeah, MMA, as I said, MMA has been around for the longest time because but it's just changed somewhat. Because Wing Chun was MMA. Wing Chun was one of the first MMA. You know what I'm saying? Wing Chun is a collective of different fighting styles, which came to be Wing Chun. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Different arts in which it took how many years to study to become master, and then what happened is all these various masters, they divide something, got the best martial art styles, and put them together and came up with Wing Chun, which wasn't actually called Wing Chun at the time. You understand?
Do you know what it was called?
It had no name. But what had happened is it got passed down through various people, and along the way there was a. This is me cutting a long story short. Along the way, it came to a orphan girl who was named Wing Chun. You understand? Okay. And it was through her that the name Wing Chun came about.
She must have been hella good.
Yeah. So the name of the art was because the girl, or the orphan, was named Wing Chun.
Nice.
But it's actually a mixed martial art of different styles, different kung fu styles. Do you know what I'm saying?
What would you say is what would you say is worse, a slap or a punch?
A slap or a punch? That's a good question. It all depends on the hand it's coming from. Because
I didn't know wake this guy up. You're funny. You're so
really
funny.
does.
It was a good answer.
It really does, because some people's slap will knock you out, and some people's punch will have you laugh and wonder, well, like, what was that?
High kick or low kick?
High kick or low kick? Again, it depends on the leg it's coming from, because you see, you're taking your foot from down here and going up there. And like Uncle Ruben said to you one time when I interviewed him, yeah, it's on YouTube, and he said a leg is not supposed to come from down there and lick you in your face. You understand me, yeah? There's people who train their leg and they got that power, whap,
Yeah.
and it's taken out, it will knock you out, because the leg is the thickest,
Biggest muscle, yeah.
Exactly. So if someone has got a very good kick, you're in problems. You know what I'm saying? But like Uncle Ruben said, you should be able to llama that down.
Yeah.
And have them crying for joy. He said.
The shin, the shin bone.
You know what I mean? You take out the shin. Whap, whap. You understand? Yeah? But that all depends on whether you're quick enough, because some people's kicks are very quick. Do you understand?
And
so
not
bearing in
telegraph it,
mind, when somebody kicks, at that point, if they are not quick enough with their kick in terms of bringing it and drawing it back,
you can catch it anyway.
they are vulnerable at a stage because they've only got one foot on the floor. You understand? So if you're quick enough with your movements and you take that other leg, where are they now? They're on the floor. But it depends on you and it depends on them. It's a you and them thing. Are you quicker than their leg? Have you got that type of reaction? Or is their leg quicker than you, where that leg is going to knock you out? That foot is going to end up in your face and take you out.
Speed or size?
Speed. I'd say
how
say
do
speed.
you
You see, I would rather great mobility than great technique. Because if you haven't got great mobility, yeah, your technique ain't as great as you think it is. Because it's your mobility that's going to get you all around. You understand? If you're here and the next minute you're here.
If your technique's just rigid, you're in one place. I feel you what you're saying.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's the mobility. I'd rather great mobility than great technique.
Right. How do you stay motivated?
How?
Yeah, how do you stay motivated?
That's a wonderful question. I tell you what, because it's not all the time I am motivated.
You're a human being, bro.
I'm a human being, exactly.
But you're also working hard at something that is hard to achieve, but it is a consistent thing.
Yeah. And
So I have to ask you that question, because some days you're not gonna want to feel like doing shit.
And that's the thing, because motivation can flutter up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you've got consistency, the consistency is the real driving force. Do you know what I mean? More so than motivation.
I'd say discipline, because you can't have consistency without discipline.
You can't have consistency. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. You can't have consistency without discipline. But I also feel that within your consistency, you can have the motivation. Sorry, you can have the discipline, but not everyone's. Some people's discipline can be penetrated and broken down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's where
But if you're consistent, then it's like, even though your discipline is broken down, if you're consistent in keep going and keep going and keep going, then you can fill up your discipline.
But would you say anything that's keep going is discipline?
is being
Anything that's
disciplined
keep
because it's
growing,
consistency.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
keep going is being disciplined.
I would say, you know what?
How
I
do
would say, you know what I would say? I would say they kind of go hand in hand.
I just think that we never cover all
yeah.
areas.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? So
Yeah, it's real.
we might become really good at fighting and learning how to fight and
Yeah.
deal with the whole situation around fighting.
Yeah.
But then did we go and learn love in the same way? You know what I'm saying? Did we go and learn compassion in the same way? Did we go and learn like all of these other things that are part of our fight? Did we go and learn spiritual fight? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then,
yeah.
then wouldn't you
yeah,
say
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Wouldn't you say that? Then, like, even though that completes us, see, different people are born with different things in them. Like, the different, like,
Aspects.
more things that like. He's more of a warrior. You're
Yeah.
more of a lover.
Yeah.
He's more of a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, I don't know, wanker. But
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
that. But you know, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And that essence then is what manifests. And sometimes we subdue it, but when it's allowed to shine like it is in
Yeah.
you, and when it's allowed to shine like it is in you as
but
well.
also what you find
you
is
create
that
good
people that can fight are less fighters than people that can't.
Oh yeah, you don't need
So
to.
when you say lover, fighter and all that, sometimes the man that can fight isn't the fighter.
That's right.
He's the lover because he's got space to love.
Real.
Whereas the man that is not confident within himself, even if a woman chats to him a bit rude, he's gonna be like,
No, but he's not fighting. He's a prick.
but that's a fighter.
No, a fighter is a fighter. Is someone who can fight.
No. That's I don't think a fighter is someone that.
Or warrior. I'm saying a warrior. I'm talking about warrior.
No, but even a warrior is someone that's got the abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he don't have to.
Yeah,
But he
But
won't
they
do
don't
it.
have to.
Yeah.
But there's people that's fighting all the time.
They're not
that's right.
warriors. They're
And they're not- yeah.
wankers. They're
How you
wankers.
call them? And they can't fight.
It's
no?
true.
No,
But
It's
they're wankers.
true.
And they come with
Yeah,
black
yeah.
eyes. and all sorts of-
Yeah.
They're wankers.
I know he's a
Wankers.
wanker, but he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's not a fighter. He's a
Yeah,
wanker.
it's real.
No, because someone
No,
who
it's real.
can do it. No, they're not. He's not. He's still a wanker. If he fight consistently, he's a wanker. That's fight. Because for me, I
I'm saying,
label him a
I think
wanker.
The real lovers are trapped in warriors. I'm saying that the real warriors can love you properly. Like someone that's not
I
a
don't dispute
fighter, and that's his thing. Yeah, he can't love you properly because he can't even love his brother properly because he wants to fight with his brother, whether it's verbally or physically. That's why I say spiritual fight is also a big part of what we got to battle. Because sometimes we're so good at fighting, and then we will allow ourselves to be mentally broken down. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
True warriors are people of peace.
Do you understand?
It's as simple as that.
Thank you.
A person who's been out there on the battlefield, yeah, like properly been on the battlefield.
Properly.
When you grow, you don't want to go back to that because you know what it consists of. You'll find, for example, online, the most people that's got all of that are the ones who were probably in school and got slapped around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And people fight through fear.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, definitely. So then, understanding oneself is the beginning to that, the key to solving that. But yet, still, the people who are fighting through fear, they're not fighters. They're fearsome. What can I say?
as you said, I think
They're afraid.
There's the big difference of a warrior and a fighter. Because I think like sometimes a fighter is just someone that's always, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't. You're fighting off in it every time. It's fighting off. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit is energy of fight. Why are you fighting me? Stop fighting. You know like.
Yeah. Even when there's not to fight,
Nothing
you're
to fight
fighting.
for.
Even fighting yourself. You're sleeping, you're punching yourself.
Arts, and when you
But then, so
martial
what-
arts, it's called
Yeah, you're
arts.
literally fighting
It's called
yourself.
arts for a
So
reason.
what
right.
about? So
Real
how
spit.
can
It's
Real
an art.
spit.
how can we plug this into what's going on now then? Because there's a lot of people out there fighting them, proverbially fighting themselves. Like I'm not worried about the adults,
Yeah.
but I'm more concerned about the children or the younger people that are having their fighters
Yeah.
or their warriors. They're fighting warriors, but they're in certain shows and they don't know how to express themselves.
Yeah.
They're getting condensed. Or the one thing, they're not actually arguing with someone, but because they're warrior spirit, they're like, no, sir, it's not that. They're getting put to the side room. You know what I'm saying? There's no way of challenging them. Like, okay, warriors fight, and helping people.
I think if we
I'm more
look-
concerned about that.
Yeah. If we eliminate what people are scared of, see, like we've even got to the place where no one don't even want to fight no more. It's a weapons thing. Mm-hmm. So you got to think about how did it even get there. Now we're talking about the level of fear and the level of how people told people to react in the first place. So if we actually eliminated the fear by telling people, you don't need to be this, and you don't need to be that, and you don't need to be this. But learn this, though. Because once you learn something, once you got something behind you, what eliminates your fear or lessens your fear from going to the gym or learning the arts is that you actually know how to deal with the situation.
Understanding.
Go in again. Let's go back to the electrician or the plumber. Yeah, if you go with the electrician or the plumber, you know that you're gonna listen to him. You don't even think that you can do what he does. But things like fighting, if someone thinks they can do what a fighter does, there's lost to someone thinking they can go and do what an electrician does without getting electrocuted. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sometimes I don't understand you. But today, I'm saying today it makes I overstand you. I overstand you. Yeah, it makes what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
It's the energy, man.
A lot of sense.
That's why you can be so bubbly.
Who, me?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to be like that if you didn't know certain things about yourself.
That's right. Yeah. That's true. You're right. Because that's what it is in life. Because like you just said, yeah. You see how you laugh, you joke, and yeah. But like a pendulum, you can go the other side.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
You prefer this side.
Yeah.
But it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That double-edged sword, you got. See that same big heart
Yeah.
that will kill for you will also kill you.
Yeah. The most wickedest people in this world are some of the nicest people you can ever meet.
Exactly.
It's not the ones you see bowling around, face screwed up and going on certain ways and all that. They're empty barrels. Sometimes some of them can have it and all them thing there, but a lot of the time you'll find they're trying to show something that they are not. They're trying to present something to cause others to leave them alone because they feel if I'm walking down the road, I just want to be left alone.
That's right.
I don't want anyone to trouble me. So put on this face, put on this walk.
And that's what rap music is about as well.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like, don't come over here. You know, like,
right.
I'm going to tell you from over here. I'll shoot you. I'll do this.
Come over here.
Yeah, don't come.
Motherfucker.
That's what they're
Get
saying
shot.
in the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's not like I can actually fight.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to tell you
That's
what I
right.
can do.
That's
but
right.
Please just allow me.
Yeah. Some of the hardest and wickedest people are some of the nicest people you'd ever meet. But cross them, and you'll see, as nice as they are, is how evil they can get.
They can get.
If you take them there,
Literally.
like a pendulum. You understand? It goes that side, and they go the same distance. It will go to the other side. Do you know what I mean? And that's real.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen?
The worst thing I've ever seen. Look how you just thrown that in there now. What's the worst thing I've ever
catch a knife.
seen? The worst thing I've ever seen.
We can go. What was
one of the word. I'll say one of. I can't say the. Because for me to say I'll have to sit down maybe 5 minutes and think about it. But I'd say one of the worst things is when my eldest son was cutting something and he ended up cutting his finger and the blood was squirting all around the kitchen. Sealing, you know. Sealing.
Wow.
So you know,
it's
pressure.
Yeah.
Squirting, sealing
Run him down
walls
to
all
hospital,
over the place.
tighten up, run down to hospital quickly,
Literally take him to hospital. Yes, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Definitely.
Sorry for you, man.
Yeah.
That's not, when it comes to our children, it's a lot.
And in fact, the same son was when I saw him on the bench and he'd been stabbed up. So that there,
Your son was
I'd say
stabbed?
that was worse than that. Yeah.
What happened?
Road wars business, isn't it? Some car, I don't know, I can't remember the ins and outs.
Road rage, you mean?
Road wars.
No, road wars. Basically a car.
Postcode.
He was on a bike with his friend and whatever. Car come, tried to lick him and the friend off the bike. I don't know why. The bike went up in the air. They went up in the air. They dropped. At that point, he must have bust up his ankle and them things there. You know what I mean? So his ankle's broken, but he didn't realize at the time. You know what I mean? And then one guy jumped out. There was another two guys in the car. He jumped out. Son ready to fight him and whatnot. The guy brought out a Bora. Son took off his belt, lashing up the boy there, lashing him up with the thing. The belt bust. So now he's got no belt. And then the brother there, who was a lot older than him, started trying to juke him up. My son's trying to fight him with this knife. He's getting it. Obviously, my son's also managing to fend off some of them and things, but he's getting it. You
Yeah. You can't, because he's poking you every single time.
Exactly
Come
right.
on, yeah.
Exactly right. And then he ended up getting poked up. How much times he's on the bench? I found him on the bench because I got phone calls saying, he's out there. You need to go and find him. I run out and find him on the bench and whatnot. You understand what I'm saying to you? So yeah, that was a bit of a mad one. That was a bit of a mad one because yeah, I was looking to do stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, I was looking to do stuff, but at the same time,
No, but at the time of, I mean, I can totally understand. 'Cause I'm a father too. Yeah, that in the retribution stage of it.
Yeah.
But I can't comprehend what you was going through when you
yeah,
actually
it's
saw
mad,
your
it's
child
mad, it's mad.
like bleeding and like, let alone my child would bang his their head, and it's a lot for me. It's knocks in my throat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was mad. It was mad.
To go in for
It was mad. I put see at the time I wasn't thinking straight and whatever. I put out a thing on Facebook and saying, "No, if anybody knows, if you find him, bring him to me, and I'll sort the rest and whatever." You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I end up taking the post down because obviously people are like, "No, Banna, you need to take that down.
Yeah.
Don't put that up there. What you doing?" But my head was just gone.
Yeah.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, your
done
dad, he was
people.
angry. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like you almost done my son. Like for all I know, it could be done now, kind of thing. You know what I mean? He could go to the hospital and I hear he's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted people done. Do you know what I mean? And that was a mad period of time.
Also teachers.
Have you got?
Again, those kind of times are teachers.
Yeah, it taught me a lot. It did taught me because it's mad because you see, I was caught now between I now to find this person. The other guys, they stayed in the car, and I kind of was. You see, it's mad because if my son had got the better of him, which he probably would had his belt not bust, the other two may have jumped out the car. And if they jumped out of the car with
Might be
their
dead.
thing, he might have been dead. So maybe it's a good thing the belt popped. And you
I mean,
understand
if your
what I'm
son's
saying to you? in that
your
sense?
son's still here. Your son's still here. That's the one we could take away from that. He's still here because some people get stabbed once
This is what I'm trying to say
and
to
they
you.
die. I don't know how many times he got stabbed. What lies in my mind, which is in our lifetime, is the guy who got stabbed at Carnival in the leg.
Yeah.
And he died. I mean, I don't remember. I just remember someone got stabbed in the leg. I remember when we was young and that people weren't really getting stabbed that regularly.
Yeah.
But he got stabbed in his leg, artery, and he
Yeah.
died. So they was like, we was thinking, if you get stabbed here,
Yeah.
that's killing you. But
Yeah.
we didn't think you get stabbed in your leg once,
That's
stab, you
right.
die.
That's
So
right.
surviving more than one stab wound is
That's what I'm saying.
like it's
Multiple.
something else. It's something else, bro.
Multiple. So
To thank God for that as well, bro.
This is why I was crossed between, and see, because of the way my head goes, if I do flipping just lose it and them things there, I had to really balance myself. You know what I mean? Because you see, I was caught between should I look for this guy and done him, which means now I would be having his parents in a situation where they're mourning a child and all them thing there and like, oh my God, my child. So I'm causing pain and heartache to these people. You understand, right? Should I do that? No, I shouldn't. Should I? I'm bringing pain to a people that has done nothing to me. It's their son that did this
But also
to
the
my
continuation.
son.
So you go
The
and do that to
continuation,
him,
precisely.
and then you're in jail.
Right,
and a man
exactly.
coming to your yard. It's like again,
Exactly,
it's a whole nother,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's,
That's what the struggle
Dilemma.
was.
yeah.
Because am I to do that? No, I'm not to do that because I don't want to be causing a family.
Plus your son
to be
needs
the-
you.
and then
Right at
my
that
son
time.
needs me, and also in me not doing anything, am I saying that your well-being is more important than my son's? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah.
What about if they go and
Because
do-
you've
what
done
if
this
they do it
and that,
again?
And I've left you, although you've done that to him, and you could have taken him away from me, and I've left you alone. So a lot of things were going through my mind at that point there. A lot of things were going through my mind, and that's one of the reasons why I had to stop teaching, because my mindset just was imbalanced.
That's where the gap came in your teaching.
Yeah, it was imbalanced, man. I couldn't give my full
attention, energy.
and energy and time to these people. So I felt like I'm cheating you. I'm just taking your money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I had to just sit back, and I had to go into myself and try and find myself and try and find the equilibrium. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I was not in a good place. Do you know what I mean? And I knew the place I was in, I could have done anything. Do you know what I mean? And I knew that I couldn't be in that place.
How did you get through it? What did you do at that time? Because I don't. Okay, go on.
Yeah,
You tell me.
at the time, all I did was basically I didn't really speak to anybody because I felt like in me speaking to people, you know, you got some people to try and gas you up. Yeah, you should do it. You don't need that in your head. When you're in a certain place, there's certain voices you don't need to be hearing. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I just kept with myself and spoke to those that I knew that
Had your best
would be
interest.
real in what they thought. And a lot of deep thinking. And eventually it came to a point where I was like, you know what, it's best if I leave it because, like you said, it's better me being outside here than inside in the bin. Do you know what I mean? Because in there, anything could happen while I'm in there. And then what can I do while I'm in there? Nothing.
Super rage. And then super rage inside.
Right, super rage. And then it's messing you up mentally because you can't do nothing because you're in there. Do you know what I mean? And then on top of it, you've caused a madness with a family who's done you nothing.
So your life is fully upside down now.
Fully. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I'm
what would you say to these people out there? Because I don't know, I cannot comprehend anything what's going on out there right now. I don't get it. I don't get how people can pull out knives and push them in
It's
people.
not the first time it happened to him. He almost died the second time.
Whoa.
The second time was worse. The second time it was like about 9 of them. 10 of them or something like that in a barber shop. They saw him in a barber shop and I think someone said, yeah, do it in the barber shop. They all come rushing in and obviously he went to have it with them and them thing there. They pull out bats and knives and all these things there. You understand? He ended up on the floor. He's staggering to the flipping shop. He almost dead, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's mad.
What's he doing? What's he doing with himself now?
What's he doing with himself now?
Yeah.
Right now, he's trying to get himself together.
Okay. Yeah.
He's trying to get himself together right now.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up now, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to reconvene this and then
Okay.
finish up. Probably post the 100th episode because it's gonna come up before the 100th episode, and we'll do another interview between me and you
Okay.
after the 100th
Okay,
episode.
yeah, I look forward to that.
Manna, it's been emotional. We even had someone come and interrupt our thing. We had a fire alarm. We had an interruption from outside. I forgot the equipment today. Like it's been a day and a half, man. It's been a day and a half. So like this is live talks. This is Banna.
Yes.
Big
King.
up the chest because you're large every time. Give me 3. Yeah. Well, the wizard, boys by the camera, and me, Fawole. I think you take the camera.